Hi, my name is Rebecca Turley, and I will be doing my Wordly Wise Lesson 14 vocabulary mini lesson from Fieldwork. So the students in my 5th grade class that I did my fieldwork, and they do their vocabulary out of a workbook called Wordly Wise. So this is just a copy of the list of their vocabulary words, so they all have access to this, and they also have access to all the other worksheets that are in this lesson today. So these are all in their Wordly Wise workbook. So here we go. Good morning, class. Yesterday we were introduced to Lesson 14, vocabulary words in our Wordly Wise workbook. We learned our definition of our words and just what our words were. So today what we are going to do is we're going to put your knowledge to the test. I want to see, what do you remember from yesterday? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put that knowledge into work, and we're going to practice. So I have some vocabulary flashcards. What we are going to do is we're going to go through each one of these flashcards one at a time, and I'm going to ask you to either tell me the definition of the word listed on the card that I'm holding up, or I may read the definition of one of the words, and I want you to tell me what word that definition matches with. So we'll go through each one of these, and if you know the answer to the question, I want you to raise your hand, and we will put your knowledge to the test, okay? So we will go ahead and start with the first card that I had held up just a minute ago. So we will start with transform. Who can give me the definition of transform? That's right. Transform does mean to change the form, looks, or the nature of something. So you are transforming something. Can anybody give me an example of something that transforms? A butterfly. That's correct. Because a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly. That's a great example. All right, who can tell me the definition of idle? That's right, idle does mean to do nothing or not working. There's also another definition of idle. This is something that you've probably seen your parents do quite a few times, maybe in the colder months of the year possibly. If you want to warm up a car, sometimes your parents may idle it because that means to run an engine slowly. Good job, guys. Okay, so let's try it this way. Who can tell me which word is defined as a 10-year period? That's right, a decade is a 10-year period. Who can give me the definition of wilderness? Very good. Wilderness is something that's still in its natural state, or it's an area where there are few people living. Very good. Who can tell me which word means to hire or to put to work for pay? Employ, that's correct. Employ means to hire or to put to work for pay. So if your parents have a job with Starbucks, that means they are employed by Starbucks. Great job, guys. Who can give me the definition of associate? That's right, associate means to bring together in the mind or to come together. Very good. Who can tell me which word means to give what is needed, to supply? That's right. To give what is needed means to provide. So your parents provide food for you. That's something that's needed. They provide, what else do they provide for you that's needed? Clothes or a house. Those are all things that your parents provide for you, or maybe even your grandparents. All right. Who can give me the definition of brilliant? That's right, sparkling. That's a good definition. What's another definition of brilliant? Very bright. Very good. So can somebody tell me something that is brilliant? Can you give me an example of something that's brilliant? You are brilliant? That's right. That's right. To be smart is also a definition of brilliant. Very clever or smart. That's a good job. Something that also might be considered brilliant could be a ring. Something that's shining. Very good. All right. Who can tell me which word is defined as freedom or permission to enter? Very good. Access. So to be granted access means that you are given the freedom to enter. Or maybe your teacher gives you access to a computer, which means you're given the freedom to get on the computer. Very good, guys. Who can give me the definition of boisterous? That's right. Boisterous means noisy. What else does boisterous mean? Uncontrolled. Very good. Who can give me the definition of delicate? Right. Delicate means easily broken or damaged. Very good, guys. All right, let's see. This is a word that we practice almost on a daily basis, and it's not just us. It's, I would say it's everybody for the most part. So which word is defined as willing to let others have their own beliefs and ways, even if it's different from one's own? Tolerant. Very good. That's correct. To be tolerant of someone or something is to accept it without complaining. Good job, guys. Okay. Who can tell me which word means to make fun of in an insulting way? Very good. Taunt. This is not a very nice thing to do. Taunt means to make fun of or to jeer. Very good, guys. Who can give me the definition of require? That's right. Require means to need or to demand. If doing your homework is a requirement, what does that mean? Right. It's something that is necessary. If the teacher makes it a requirement, that does mean it's necessary. Very good, guys. All right, we have our last vocabulary word. Who can give me the definition of illuminate? That's right. Illuminate does mean to light up. Or it could also mean what? To supply with light. Very good, guys. That was awesome. All right. I want everybody to pull out their Wordly Wise workbook for me, and you also need a pencil. Once you get your Wordly Wise workbook out, I want you to turn to page 154. We're going to be doing activity 14B, just the right word. So you're looking for page 154, activity 14B. It should look like this. I'm going to put this up on the document camera so y'all can see. This is what your worksheet should look like once you flip to the correct page in your workbook, okay? All right, guys, listen up. I'm going to read the instructions aloud, and then I'm going to just explain to you guys how we're going to do this. We're going to work as a class to complete this worksheet in our activity book. So, just the right word worksheet. The instructions are: improve each of the following sentences by crossing out the bold phrase and replacing it with the word or a form of the word from word list 14. So what we're going to do is, as we work this activity together, I will read 1 through 10, okay? And we're going to go one at a time. So I will read the sentence, and I want y'all to read along with me. And then I will reiterate the words that are listed in bold. And then we are going to, as a class, decide which word we think fits, okay? So if you have a suggestion, I want you to raise your hand, but I want you to be able to give us a reason why you feel like those bold words or that bold phrase should be replaced with the word of your choice, okay? So I want you to give me evidence. I want you to tell me and explain to me why you chose that replacement word, okay? Alrighty, guys. So number 1, much of Alaska is land that is still in its natural state that needs to be protected. The words in bold are land that is still in its natural state. Who can tell me what would be a good word to replace land that is still in its natural state? Yes. Great. Wilderness would be a perfect word to replace land that is still in its natural state. And why though? Why would wilderness be a great replacement for that? Because that is one of the definitions of wilderness, is land that is in its natural state. That's correct. Also, wilderness can be defined as a place that few people live. Very good. All right, so what we're going to do, guys, is we are going to draw a line through land that is in its natural state, and I want you to fill it in with wilderness. Okay? Very good. All right, number 2, in cold weather, let the engine run slowly for a few minutes before you drive any place. Well, this is something that we talked about earlier, right? So, to run slowly, those are our bold words. So what can we replace with run slowly? Idle, very good. This is probably something that y'all have seen a lot in the winter. It's something that I know that I do. In those colder months, sometimes your parents will go out and they'll start the car. It just kind of warms the engine up to have it work better when you start to go, okay? So idle, very good. So let's draw a line through run slowly, and we're going to fill that in with idle. Very good. All right, class, number 3. Samantha hated school because some of her classmates made fun of her for the way she spoke. All right, our bold phrase is made fun of. Can anybody tell me which one of our vocabulary words may be described as made fun of? Taunt, very good, because taunt is to make fun of or to jeer, okay? So that's very good. So we're going to mark out made fun of, and we're going to fill that in with taunt. Good job. And guys, remember, it's up on the document camera on the board, so if you are confused about anything, follow along with us, please. All right, class, number 4. The 10-year period that ended in 1929 was called the Roaring Twenties. Our bold phrase in this sentence is 10-year period. So who can give me a word that would replace 10-year period? Do we have a vocabulary word that means a 10-year period? Very good. Decade. The decade that ended in 1929 was called the Roaring Twenties. And why does decade fit perfectly in this sentence? That's right, because a decade is defined as a 10-year period. That's perfect. Good job. So we're going to mark out 10-year period and replace that with decade. Okay, so go ahead and put that in there for me. All right, class, number 5. These new curtains will completely change the appearance of this bedroom. Our bold phrase is completely change the appearance. Okay, so to completely change the appearance of something, it means that it is being transformed. Great. Okay, so these new curtains will transformed this bedroom? That doesn't sound right. How about these new curtains will completely transform this bedroom? Good job, guys. All right, so we're going to mark out completely change the appearance of and replace it with transform. Number 6, the matter is one that needs careful handling, but I am confident that you can take care of it. The bold phrase in this sentence is, make sure that you, the bold phrase in this one is one that needs careful handling. So if we have to be careful with something, that thing may be delicate. Very good. So the matter is delicate, but I am confident that you can take care of it. Perfect. So we're going to mark out the one that needs careful handling, and we will replace that with delicate. Perfect. All right, guys. Number 7, the new health insurance will make sure that you will be covered for full payment of medical expenses. So our phrase here is make sure that you will be covered. This one's a little bit tricky. When you think that you'll make sure you'll be covered, you may think of like an umbrella, something that's going to physically cover you. But we're talking about payment being covered for your medical expenses. So what is a good word to replace make sure that you will be covered? Maybe provide? Let's try it in the sentence. This new health insurance will provide for full payment of medical expenses. I think that sounds pretty good. All right, guys, so we're going to mark that out, and we're going to fill in with the word provide. All right, guys, we have, 3 more. Okay, number 8. This book makes clear and understandable how the 2 scientists figured out the structure of DNA. So our bold phrase in this sentence is makes clear and understandable. So can anybody tell me which one of our vocabulary words we could replace that bold phrase with? Makes clear and understandable. Illuminates. That's a good one because illuminate, one of its definitions is to make clear. So let's try it in our sentence. This book illuminates how the 2 scientists figured out the structure of DNA. That sounds very, very good. So let's mark out makes clear and understandable, and we are going to replace it with illuminates. All right, guys. Number 9. I would be happier if my older sister were more willing to overlook the faults of others and less rigid. So this is a pretty long, bold phrase, so let me say that again. Our bold phrase is willing to overlook the faults of others. So if you're accepting and you're willing to overlook something, that means you are tolerant of it. That's correct. So let's put tolerant in that sentence. I would be happier if my older sister were more tolerant and less rigid. I think that fits perfectly. So everybody mark out our bold our bold phrase, and we're going to replace that word with tolerant. Very good. All right, our last one on this worksheet is one thing that is necessary to attend the new school is a uniform. So our bold phrase here is thing that is necessary. So if something is necessary, that means that it is a requirement. Very good. So one requirement to attend the new school is a uniform. Very good, guys. All right, so we're going to mark that last phrase out, thing that is necessary, and we'll replace that with requirement. Perfect job, guys. All right, so we are completely done with that, and we are going to leave that in our workbook. We're not going to tear that out or anything. Our next activity, though, is Activity 14C, Applying Meanings. So this is on your next page of your workbook. So if you would, just flip your page, and we're going to flip over to page 155. This is exactly what it should look like, guys. 14C, Applying Meanings. For this activity, we're going to work individually. So keep your pencil out. I want you to read each question and answer it to the best of your ability. At the end, we will go over it as a class. So I'm going to keep this blank sheet of paper up on our document camera, okay? And once everybody's done, we will go over it as a class. So if you need to correct any of your answers, you can do so at that time. While y'all are working, I want y'all to work quietly and independently, guys. And then I will walk around. If you have any questions, raise your hand, and I'll be just assessing you and giving y'all some help as you go. So for a 14C, applying meanings, your instructions are to circle the letter or letters of each correct answer. A question may have more than one correct answer. So remember that, guys. And that's not there to trick you. That's just there to tell you that if you see something that if you see more than one answer that you think answers the question that they're asking, circle both of those answers, okay? We're going to go over it at the end, so if you need to make any corrections, you'll have that opportunity. These are all just some activities to help you better prepare for your test on Friday. So work as hard as you can on your own, but obviously we want you to correct anything that you have wrong, or maybe you missed one. We'll want you to correct that at the end, okay? And that will help you get some more practice and help you with studying for your test on Friday. So y'all work on the worksheet, and then we'll go over it when you're done. All right, class, now that everybody's done with our worksheet, if you would turn your attention to the smartboard. I have our worksheet up on the document camera, and I'm going to ask each question, and as a class, we're going to decide on the answer. So if you know the answer after I ask the question, I want you to raise your hand, and I'll give you an opportunity to come up to the board, use the smart pen, and circle the answer on the board, okay? Alrighty, guys. Number 1. Which of the following might an idle person do? A. Watch television. B. Bask in the sun. C. Win an Olympic medal. Or D. Write a book. So if we remember, our definition of idle means to do nothing or to not work. So something that an idle person might do would be correct. A. Watch television. Okay, does anybody see another answer on our worksheet that an idle person may do? An idle person may bask in the sun. That's not doing anything. An idle person certainly wouldn't win an Olympic medal because that requires a lot of work, as does writing a book. So on number 1, we should have A circled and B circled. An idle person might watch television and bask in the sun. Great job. Okay. Number 2, which of the following could be a means of access? A, a door. B, a wall. C, an opening. D, a window. Which of those could be a means of access? An access is something that we can enter. Okay, so a door. Do we enter through a door when we walk into the classroom? Great job, guys. That's right. An opening. That's pretty vague, but an opening is something that we may walk through, so that's correct. Good job. A window. So this one's a little bit iffy, but you can enter through a window. I mean, you could crawl through it. We can circle it. It probably wouldn't be our typical way of accessing something. But it could be a point of access if it had to be. So, we'll go ahead and circle that one, but definitely need to have A, a door, and, A, a door, C, an opening, and D, a window, if you want to circle that as well. Number 3, which of the following are closely associated? Baseball and summer, salt and pepper, Hansel and Gretel, snowflakes, and cornflakes. Okay, baseball and summer, because baseball and summer go hand in hand. All right, we'll take that one. Salt and pepper. You can't have salt without pepper, can you? Very good. Those two things are closely associated. And Hansel and Gretel. Very good, guys. So we need to have A, baseball in summer, B, salt and pepper, and C, Hansel and Gretel circled on our worksheet. Very good, guys. All right, which of the following can be described as brilliant? A, a diamond, B, an idea, C, moonlight, or D, a student? So, first things first, brilliant. What does brilliant mean? Correct, very bright or sparkling. It can also mean clever or smart. So, a diamond. Could a diamond be described as brilliant? Very good. What else could be described as brilliant? A student. That's correct, because a student is smart. Could an idea be considered brilliant? Like, I had a brilliant idea. It could, because you could have a very clever idea. So an idea. So what we need to have circled on this one is an A, a diamond, B, an idea, and D, a student. Very good. All right, guys, number 5. Which of the following can be delicate? A, a china plate, B, a problem, C, a rescue, and D, a person's health. A china plate. That's right, a china plate can be very delicate. Good job. What else could be considered delicate? Delicate means fragile, easily broken, in poor health. So, great, D, a person's health can be delicate. So on number 5, we need a china plate circled and a person's health circled. Very good, guys. All right, number 6. Which of the following is a decade? This is going to put a little bit of math into it, guys, okay? So I want to see how you put math into play here. Which of the following is a decade? We know that a decade is what? That's right, a decade's a 10-year period, okay? So we're looking for a 10-year period here. So A, the 1990s, B, from 1901 to 1999, C, the 1700s, or D, 120 months. So we can go ahead and eliminate 1901 to 1999 because that's way more than 10 years, correct? All right. What about A, the 1990s? That's right. That would be a decade, correct. What about D, 120 months? How many months are in a year? That's right. Okay, there's 12 months in a year. And we're talking about a 10-year period. So what's 10 times 12? 120. Good job, guys. So on number 6, we need A, the 1990s, and D, 120 months. Very good. See, we're going to throw math into English. That's why you got to be prepared. It's going to come at you from all different angles. All right, guys, number 7 is which of the following might one find in the wilderness? All right, who remembers what the wilderness is defined as? Right, an area where very few people live, or an area in its natural state. So, do you think you'd find schools in the wilderness? No. What about trees? I think we'd find trees in the wilderness. A herd of deer? Yep, we'll find a herd of deer probably. How about a shopping mall? We won't find a shopping mall in the wilderness. So, an area that's in its natural state, we would probably find trees and a herd of deer. So you need to circle, you need to have B and C circled if you don't already. All right, guys, and our last question is number 8, which is, which of the following would you not tolerate? So to be tolerant of something, what does that mean? To be tolerant means that we are accepting, and we're willing to accept something without complaining about it. So something that we would not be tolerant of is something that we don't agree with, okay? So out of our choices, A, cheating, B, obedience, C, crime, and D, prosperity, which ones would you not tolerate? Right, A, cheating, and C, crime. Very good. So our last one, you need to have A circled for cheating and C circled for crime. Good job, guys. All right, so I want y'all to go ahead and put your Wordly Wise workbook away, and good job on both of those activities. We'll be doing some more activities tomorrow to keep practicing before our test on Friday. But as a closure to our activity, as a closure to our mini lesson, what I want you to do is I want you to pull out your daily journal. And in your daily journal, I want you to turn to your the newest sheet. Go ahead and put the date on it. And I want you to pick 4 of your Wordly Wise vocabulary words, and I want you to write a sentence that you create, okay? Not a sentence that you've taken from our Wordly Wise workbook. I want you to take 4 words of your choice, and I want you to write a sentence, create a sentence for me using each word, and you have to use it in the correct context. And I'll be checking this. I'm going to be coming around and checking it, okay? So I want to see that you can put all the things that we've learned into action and show me that you can use 4 of your words correctly in a sentence, okay? So I'm going to come around and check those. Thank you.